All right, instructional coaches, this one is for you. If you've ever wanted to make your planning sessions more than just a check-in, you're in the right place. We're about to walk through a real coaching conversation and see how a pretty simple framework can totally change the game for teacher prep. Let's get into it.
So we're dropping right into the middle of a planning meeting. And notice the coach's very first move. It's laser-focused on the lesson's main goal. This isn't just a, hey, how's it going? It's a targeted, productive discussion from the second it starts.
And there it is. That's the pivotal question. Instead of telling the teacher what the problem is, the coach asks this incredibly precise question. It empowers the teacher to name the biggest hurdle themselves. See how it zeroes in on a specific activity, a time limit, and the learning goal? That is how you get to the heart of the matter fast.
So you might be wondering, how does a coach get that precise? Well, it's not magic, it's a framework. We're going to revisit that conversation, introduce you to the lesson internalization protocol, we'll call it the LIP, break down its 4 key steps, see it in action, and then talk about that all-important feedback loop. Okay, first things first, what is this thing? The lesson internalization protocol isn't just another checklist to tick off. It's really a system for teachers to deeply understand and own the lesson content before they ever step in front of the kids. It's the why behind the how of really great teaching.
So here's the deal. This process moves a teacher from just delivering a lesson to truly orchestrating it. When you've internalized a lesson, you don't just know what's on the page. You're already thinking ahead, anticipating where students might get stuck, planning for different needs. You're ready for anything. And the best part is, the LIP protocol makes all this deep thinking totally manageable. It breaks it down into 4 distinct steps. This structure makes sure nothing gets missed and helps create a rock-solid plan for every student to succeed. Let's take a look at what those steps are.
So, step 1, you get the big picture, the purpose. Step 2, you map out the flow and the timing. Step 3, you do a deep dive into the actual activities. And finally, step 4, you get all your stuff organized. It's a really logical flow, right? From the 30,000-foot view right down to the nitty-gritty.
Now, check out how this framework suggests you spend your time. Notice that the biggest chunk, a good 10 to 20 minutes, is for step 3, the activity deep dive. That's not an accident. That's where the magic happens. It's all about anticipating what kids will need and getting your supports ready, which is exactly what our coach and teacher are about to do.
Okay, let's jump back into our coaching session. The teacher named the challenge, and now the coach is guiding them right through step 3 of the protocol. This is where they're going to role play and rehearse the trickiest part of the lesson to make sure that teacher is ready for literally any student response.
So, just to remind you, the specific problem area is that dense, technical vocabulary. Students have to define and compare 3 different types of mirrors. You know, this is a classic sticking point in a science lesson, which makes it the perfect thing to practice in a deep dive. And here's the vocabulary in question: plano, concavo, and convexo. You can totally see how those last 2 could get mixed up, right? The teacher's whole goal here is to make these words stick and make sense for every single kid in that classroom. Now, this is super smart. The coach focuses the rehearsal on using the supports that are already built into the curriculum. This is so efficient. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel or come up with new strategies on the fly. They're practicing how to skillfully use the tools they already have.
Okay, scenario 1. The coach is going to role play as a student with disabilities who's having a tough time remembering which mirror is which. Let's see how the teacher handles it.
Oh, that is a fantastic move. The teacher doesn't just explain it again. She gives the student a mnemonic, a little memory trick, connecting concavo to cueva, which means cave. And then, this is key, she immediately checks for understanding.
Let's just break that down because it was brilliant. The teacher used a verbal cue, the word cueva, and then combined it with a visual and physical action, pointing. That multisensory approach is just so powerful, especially for students with disabilities. Next up, the coach switches hats. Now he's an emergent bilingual student who's getting confused by the descriptive language in the textbook. So, how does the teacher adapt?
Did you see that pivot? For this student, the problem isn't memory, it's those abstract academic words. So the teacher simplifies it down to variations in size, and then creates a super clear visual anchor on the board. So simple, so effective.
The whole point here is accessibility. The teacher broke a complex idea down to its simplest function and then gave the student a visual they can look back to all lesson long. I mean, that's just a masterclass in scaffolding for language learners.
But here's the thing about differentiation. It's not just about support, it's also about extension. So now the coach pretends to be a gifted student who's ready to go deeper. Let's see how the teacher meets this challenge.
And boom! Instead of just giving the answer, the teacher flips it with this powerful, higher-level question. Why can a concave mirror do this? It pushes the student way beyond just remembering facts and into real analysis, using the diagram as their evidence.
And that right there is how you challenge your advanced learners.
The teacher's question made the student pull together information from the text and the diagram and then create a whole new understanding. They didn't just give more information, they demanded deeper thinking.
Okay, so the rehearsal is done, but the coaching, not by a long shot. This final phase is just as important, giving clear, helpful feedback and figuring out the next step to keep that cycle of improvement going.
And listen to this feedback. It's immediate, it's positive, and most importantly, it's really specific. The coach names exactly what the teacher did well. That kind of reinforcement makes it so much more likely the teacher will use those same skills in the real classroom.
And finally, the coach looks ahead. They propose the next rehearsal right away. This frames coaching not as a one-time fix, but as a true ongoing partnership. And it leaves us with a question for all of you. What part of your next lesson is ready for a deep dive rehearsal?